Hi everyone, Bendy Bono here for this sci-fi Christian talking about episode 4 of House of the Dragon. And gosh, sorry, I'm just getting distracted because my Fire TV's playing ads here on it as it's on the kind of lock screen. And one just came up for this Pinocchio movie that just came out. And it's got Jiminy Cricket on there. What a nightmare. So somebody needs to stage an intervention for Robert Zemeckis. Is it Robert Zemeckis or Roger Zemeckis? I never remember. But either way, oh, wow. It's just that thing looks so bad. Anyway, I was smoking the tail end here of a La Flor Dominica football. Started the NFL season. I guess the NFL season started Thursday, but for the Vikings, my team started today. Kicked the ass of the Packers. That was beautiful to see. But we're here for House of the Dragon. And man, best episode so far. That was a horny little number in places, but really, really good. Man, if you feel like what you wanted was more from House of the Dragon is political machinations and people backstabbing the backstabbers, and I mean this just had all those classic Game of Thrones elements in it. Really, really enjoyed it. So we start off with the Westeros version of The Bachelor. I presume that's what it's like. I've never seen the show. But if it's half as good as that, maybe I should start watching it. Just have especially loved when, the one little guy gets up there and he starts getting taunted, and then there's just a sword fight going on in the background while Rhaenyra's walking away. That was fantastic. And then, we get Daemon coming back, and of course it's the episode for the two of them, of Rhaenyra and Daemon, but I loved his intro. He's got his short hair now. And the moment where he throws the sword down and says, "Add it to the chair," which if you're not up on your Game of Thrones lore, the Iron Throne is made up of all the swords from Aemon the Conqueror when he did the conquest and everything. And so that was the reference there. But just a great moment back, and I kind of love the totally dysfunctional relationship between Viserys and Daemon, um, because they have this love hate thing, and I think Daemon just got banished for like the 15th time so far this season. It's just fantastic. So we have all that going on. We have the scene afterwards where it's kind of the party, and I think that a lot of people were maybe picking up on that. There's something going on between Daemon and Rhaenyra. I wasn't expecting it to pay off quite that soon, but loved the scene of them in the Godswood. Which, by the way, just as an aside, I've been raving about the cinematography, and I'm going to continue to do so with the one exception that they need to turn the lighting up a little bit. Last week was a little too dark. This week was way too dark, especially in kind of that central sequence. I get that they're going for a more artistic vibe, especially in the sex moments, as opposed to kind of the sexploitation of early Game of Thrones. Great, fine, but just turn the lighting up a little bit. Okay, but Godswood, man, they've used that Godswood tree with the red leaves and everything so well in this season. It's just a visual marker, and it's gorgeous. Like, some of the best moments have taken place there, but also some of the best moments in terms of um, cinematography in this season. And that scene between Rhaenyra and Daemon there was just fantastic. As was the later scene with Alicent and Rhaenyra. I forget if it was there or later on. I think they had two scenes together, but they had one. Yeah, they had one early on where Rhaenyra makes the mark about, I don't want to just squeeze out heirs, and you realize Alicent's kind of got this. Well, shit! Look at her face as you realize that's exactly what she is doing, and she's such a pawn. I think that if it wasn't obvious before, this episode just made it So obvious how much of a pawn she is for her father. Okay, so we have all that going on, but let's just get to this kind of great middle sequence in this episode. It really was fantastic. A lot going on from the moment where Rhaenyra sneaks out, and I love that we get um, the the passageways and Magor's Whole Fest and the Red Keep, and that were used so well by Varys in the earlier show, and they're still a part of this show. And who knows about them? Well, Damon apparently knows about them now. Rhaenyra knows about them, and like those two going out, and then contrasting that with the most awkward sex scene of the show so far, as Alicent's just kind of laying there and she is not into it. And can you blame her? I don't think anybody wants Viserys climbing on top of him. I mean, Viserys, I feel bad for the guy. I have in my notes that Viserys is fucked. I think it's so obvious in that one scene where he's in the bathtub and Alicent's kind of dressing his wounds and everything. And it's like, it's just a matter of time until this guy's just gone. And he's totally being manipulated by everybody. And this episode's just another example of that, is he's manipulated by Otto and he's manipulated by Rhaenyra. And those two are just kind of waging this war, but they're doing it through Viserys in this episode. It's great. Okay, anyway, back to this sequence. So, really liked just almost everything about this. I mean, I like the creepy eyes wide shut vibe as Damon and Rhaenyra were out there. You kind of knew they were going to get freaky here at some point. You'd think he could tell he's being manipulated. Yes, there's a comment there. You would think. It's kind of funny at the end when he says to Otto, you taught me everything I know about being a king. Did he? Did he? I think Otto held a few things back. That's just me. But yeah, really like, the eyes wide shut vibe as Rhaenyra and Damon are going through, the different brothels and everything. And there's so much energy, but it's creepy and it's weird. And then we have the whole Targaryen incest thing. And again, to contrast it to early Game of Thrones, and I say early because the sex scenes and stuff there really wasn't a lot in the last few seasons. But where, we know now behind the scenes that there were producers pushing for, the sex elements and everything. And it was part of the DNA of the show, for better or worse. But this was different, and I think it's notably different in the way it was shot and the way it's presented. It's like, okay, we're still willing to go there, but we're not going to do it just for the sake of having boobs on the show. Yeah, totally weird that he takes her to a brothel. It's like when your mom takes you to buy condoms. I hope your mom didn't. I hope your mom didn't do that to you. I can't strip to Walmart. Let's buy your first pack of condoms, extra small. We'll start getting those. A comment of the night. All right. So, where was I? That was a good comment. Right after the talk. Oh, so yeah, very weird, off-putting. But anyway, yeah. So original Game of Thrones had its own aesthetic. And this show, I think I commented in the first episode that saying, okay, seems to be being a bit more chaste, a little bit more restrained. And I think here we saw, okay, this show is willing to go to those classic Game of Thrones places, but there's more artistry to it. And then leading into this scene with her and the boyfriend knight, I don't remember his name, that was honestly very touching and moving. And it's the doom love and everything, but going from this fever dream atmosphere with Damon to that, and just this whole middle sequence of almost a coming of age moment for um, Sir Tristan Cole. Okay, I guess that's his name. Coming of age moment for Rhaenyra uh, was really, really good. And then, of course, it just all blows up. And it all blows up because Otto is out there on the loose. Otto, I think he's kind of in a quietly become, the political manipulator. And if you watch the preview for next week, and I won't give anything away, but I don't think this is a spoiler to say he's not done yet. You can take the hand off of the hand of the king, but you can't take the hand of the king off. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I think that I butchered that halfway through. But the point is, he is still up to things. His grandson is the king's not heir, but we're going to be vying in that direction. And so then as the second half of the episode unfolds with just everything going to hell. And Rhaenyra, lying to Alicent. And so here's the question then. Did Alicent actually believe her? She said she did. And I think she does. So I think that Alicent's kind of turning into an interesting character. She's seemed like she was going to become this this political mastermind there. But really, we see maybe she's just a pawn, and maybe she is naive. And how is this going to play out as she's now the mother of the other potential heir for a very unwell Viserys? So her character is going to be interesting to develop, as is the relationship between her and Rhaenyra. It had seemed strained, seems back together a bit in this episode. I like a lot of what they're doing there. Okay, so first things first, we have Otto manages to kind of damage Rhaenyra, and then he definitely takes out Daemon there, at least temporarily. I did love, just Daemon is so blasted that they drag him in, and he just kind of lays there in front of the Iron Throne. Yeah, Daemon not doing great. He knows when he's drunk or hungover. He's not going to fight it. And then he shoots his shot. Let me marry Rhaenyra. Of course, it doesn't work, but we know where he stands. And what a great character. And him and whatever actress, I wish I knew her name, who's playing Rhaenyra right now. There's eventually going to be an actress change there because we're going to go forward in time. And I know that even in this season, they have two actresses playing her. But man, again, those two, just the standout actors in this series so far. And I hope that whatever actress is going to take over for her character for Rhaenyra later on does half as good a job, because especially the chemistry that she and Matt Smith have right now is just off the charts. Really, really strong. At this point, I'm ready to say, pull out the old age makeup and just keep this actress there. She's absolutely killing it, and it's going to be a shame when we lose her on the show. Okay, so Daemon gets banished again. Big deal. Been there, done that. He's going to keep doing his Daemon things. But then I did like Rhaenyra getting back at Otto. And so we can really see the sides starting to form here, especially if she does go through with her promise to marry little boy Sea Snake. At least I think it's a little boy. I forget. There's been so many different proposals and matches and everything going on that I'm forgetting who's who. But I know she's supposed to marry one of the sons of the Sea Snake, and I'm thinking it's a little boy, but I could be wrong. So I have a note here that I can't read. Oh well. It probably wasn't important. So we have that going on, and then, oh yes, that's my note. Tea. The tea at the end is just kind of a devastating moment where the son is an adult. Okay. Yeah, you're okay. Yep. I'm wrong about I'm wrong about who it is. I'm getting confused because the little boy they wanted her to marry Aegon. That's who it was. There was talk of that. So the sea snake, he's at least an adult, which is good. I think that I get that it's medieval times, but child marriage, super creepy. Maybe even more creepy than the incest. But I love the way this episode ended. It was so devastating. Of that Viserys and Rhaenyra have kind of fought each other to a draw of sorts. She's gonna do the marriage. He gets rid of Otto, and then we bring in the abortion tea, uh, and just the devastation on her face. Not that not that I think she necessarily thought she was pregnant. In fact, my read on it is she hadn't even considered that as a real possibility. Um, but it's almost like her father taking that move on her behalf, um, saying whatever happened, if you have a child, I'm going to kill it. Uh, that was a powerful moment, and I think it's going to be a defining one for their characters going forward. Uh, so interesting things to come. We did get another taste of the Song of Ice and Fire stuff. Again, the show you're good enough on your own. You don't need to do that. That element is just not working for me. I'm glad it's been minor in the show. I hope it continues to be minor. I hope it just sort of fades into the background. We don't need to tie this to the later show. Just let it stand on its own. It's good enough. Have the confidence to be your own thing. That would be my only real nitpick of this show so far. Now, if you did watch the preview for next week, we may or may not be getting a Westeros wedding, and that's always an exciting time. So excited for that. But yeah, man, best episode so far. Really, really enjoying the show. Boy, does it stack up well compared to Rings of Power, though I get sheer unadulterated joy in the train wreck that is Rings of Power. What they should do is have a slow motion shot of Rhaenyra stupidly riding a dragon, creaming her pants while she does so in next season, just to reference that moment of Rings of Power. And if you don't get that, it's because you're not watching Rings of Power and you're probably better off because of it. That would be so funny if they just did the Galadriel horse moment with Rhaenyra on a dragon just to stick it to them. Even if it's awkward and doesn't fit, I would love that. All right, guys, I think that's all I got for this episode. Really liked it. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Thank God it's not Rings of Power, and that we've got a home run. We got at least one great prequel fantasy series on our hands, and I'm glad it's this one. All right, everyone. Bendy Bone will talk to you guys later.